wholesome things. And these wholesome things are essential because these wholesome things are what we call in Pali pathaya. Pathaya is like the provision for the journey. So when you go on a journey, like in India, people still do like this. When they go on a journey, long journey, they take some food and some provisions with them many times. Or nowadays, people don't take maybe food, but then they have to still carry the money and other necessary things which are necessary, which are needed for the journey to travel from place to place and to obtain the necessary things. That is called pathaya, provisions. So this, all these wholesome things that you cultivate is they are all like these provisions, your support from this life to the next and to the next till Nibbana. So this is why we should cultivate the right things, because no matter what we do, we cannot escape aging and sickness and finally death. Nobody can do that. But then, if you develop the right things, if you have the right kind of support, right kind of provisions with you, then wherever you go, this life to the next or another, you can manage without discomfort, without problems. Now, we all wish to live happily, and also when our time comes, we must depart peacefully. That's important. Sometimes people, they do a lot of things to gain the materialistic things, whether it is the money or the other kind of wealth or name or fame or whatever. But then we must also understand that obtaining something is one, but obtaining happiness is another. They are not necessarily same. For example, somebody has a lot of money but suffers from sickness, or suffers from problems in the family, or suffers from a bad relationship with his friends or colleagues. Can happen. So then, even if somebody has a lot of money, they are not able to live peacefully. So the purpose of life is to find happiness, peacefulness. You can do your things, you can do your work, you can maintain, have the family, you can do whatever you need to do to be successful. But then you should also not lose sight of happiness. That is very important. And then there is, maybe some of you have heard, there's a discourse called Alavaka Sutta. There, it's a lot of things about the life. For, for example, there, Lord Buddha has this Alavaka, who was a demon, asked Lord Buddha, what is the greatest wealth that one can have? What is the greatest wealth? Now you imagine for a moment, what is the greatest wealth that you can imagine? I can have this, I can have that. But then Lord Buddha says, Saddhita Vittang Purisassa Settang. The right kind of faith, faith in the wholesome and unwholesome. This is wholesome, will produce the wholesome results. This is bad, will produce bad results. Acknowledging the law of karma, right kind of faith, having taken refuge in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, in the Sangha. This is the greatest wealth. Sadhita Vittang Purisasya Sattang. This is the highest. Because whatever other wealths people may obtain, people may also eventually lose them. You earn money, you lose money. You have good health, tomorrow you can have bad health. No guarantee, no certainty in this world that things will be as you want or it will be fixed or certain. In fact, there is nothing fixed or certain. We say everything is uncertain. Only thing that is certain we say is for sure you will die. I will also die. All of us will die. That is for sure. Everything else uncertain. How long we live, not don't know. When we die, we die, for sure we die. So we must develop our mind in a way that we can manage happiness in this life and in the future. We must know the right things and cultivate the right things. So he asked in this same Sutta Alavaka, he asked Lord Buddha, what are the things that you cultivate, one should cultivate, that one, when one departs from here, from this life, one has no regret, one has no unhappiness, one goes happily. What are the things that one should do? So the four things Lord Buddha said, people should cultivate if they wish to live happily here and and pass away happily, without regret, without unhappiness, without suffering. Suffering means no mental suffering. Physically, sometimes people can have suffering. For example, there is no, if somebody is in old age and sickness, then maybe physically the body may have a lot of suffering also possible. But then if you develop the mind in the right way, if you develop the mind through the practice of sila samadhi panya, then automatically your mind will not cling to this body and the sickness and the feelings associated with the sickness as I or me or mine. It will not be obsessed with this I or me or mine, my body and my feelings and my pain and my suffering. It will not cling. This is the training, this is the wonderful training Lord Buddha has given. So, like one lay devotee in his old age went to Lord Buddha and asked him, what is the advice, uh, Bhagwan, what is the advice that you like to give me? Please give me some advice. Lord Buddha said, you see, in your age, when you are very old, it is no point telling you that you should be healthy or this or that. So, all I am telling you is, if your body is sick, let it be, but make sure your mind is not sick. That's all he told him. Means to develop the mind, through the right practice, through the sati, samadhi, and develop the wisdom, so that you don't have this clinging, this is my body and I have lot of suffering and have this is too much of old age related problems and sickness related problems. Not like this. No, this is just the body. It is subject to be like this, subject to change, subject to decay. It has become like this. There's nothing to feel bad or nothing to be too much stressed about. So, in the Alavaka Sutta, Lord Buddha has mentioned these four things. They are very fundamental for a happy living. These four things. What are these four things? Satchang, Dhamma, Dhiti, Chaga. I'll explain. Satchang, truthfulness. So, Lord Buddha is saying, if you wish to live happily, practice truthfulness. Spiritual life means what? A life which is honest, straightforward, no crookedness. If anybody has crookedness in their hearts, then whatever they go, wherever they go, whatever they do, they are not still practicing the spiritual life. It starts with honesty and straightforwardness. One has to be honest with oneself, one has to be honest with other people. This is so important. If we have crookedness, if we say something but we have something else in mind, uh, if we uh, say that we are good people but we are not so good internally, or if we say we have metta for others but we have hatefulness for others, then it doesn't work. You must understand, you may try to deceive the world, but you cannot deceive yourself, because whatever you do your mind knows, and whatever good or bad do, the similar consequences shall follow. There is no way of deceiving oneself. If other people may see or may not see, may know or may not know, but you still know. So that's the law of karma. Whatever our intentions are, good, good, bad, bad. Even if nobody sees, it is still good. Even if everybody sees, it's still good. If it is bad, it is bad. Similarly. So satchang, truthfulness, is a very important virtue, spiritual practice. It's a very important spiritual practice, being truthful, because this is the basis of all good, honest relationship. For example, now lay people have to live with their families, with their parents or husbands or wives or children or relatives. You have to live with people. And if there is dishonesty between the family members, for example, if there is a 4 or 5 members in the family, they are always trying to hide something from each other. They are always telling lies to each other. Then that family will, they will not live happily. People cannot. So this is the basis of all happy relationship, honesty and truthfulness. Like we have so many monks here. Like if all the monks are tomorrow, I'm just giving hypothetical example. This thing. Tomorrow all the monks start lying to each other. What will happen to the monastery? What will happen? It will all be ruined. So that's why. Simple. So all good relationship comes from truthfulness and honesty. This is the basis. If there is a lot of dishonesty and lying and deceiving, then nothing good will sustain. Satchang, truthfulness first. Then Dhamma, restraint. Restraint means also you can say uh, virtue, moral life, ethical life, restraining against evil tendencies, unwholesome tendencies. For example, today you took the Panchashila. You, what did you say? I voluntarily undertake not to kill. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. I voluntarily undertake not to steal. Like this, 5 precepts. So this is also kind of restraint. Shila Sangvaroti iti Silam. Restraint. Sila is nothing but restraint in a right way, avoiding wrong actions. Actions that are harmful for ourselves, actions that are harmful for others, avoiding such actions. So restraint. This is also very essential. If you people many times ask, especially lay people, how to live happily in the family with their family members and friends. Simple. If you keep Panchashila, if all the people were to follow Panchashila, there will be no conflicts. People can live and live happily and take care of each other happily. Because people don't follow. That's why there are so people are given to violence and hatefulness and killing and stealing and lying and sexual misconduct and drinking and drug addictions and alcohol addictions. That's why people have suffering. And so they can't get along with each other, they can't trust each other, they harm each other, they cause suffering to each other. So, because of lack of virtue. But when people have virtue, restraint against the evil actions, and practicing the right actions, then automatically happiness will come. These are all conditions. Lord Buddha, whatever the teachings he has given, 84,000 discourses, in fact, in some of the discourses he has said, when teaching Dhamma, one should teach in a way which is like law of causation. Conditionality should be explained. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this will happen like this. Then that way, Dhamma should be taught. You see? So here also is stating, creating the right conditions, truthfulness and honesty, virtuousness, avoiding evil. Then third one, thiti. Thiti is patience. Patience or patient endurance. This is also a very, very important thing. When you say patience, we sometimes think we have to be patient against other people or their thoughts, their behavior, their attitude. Not necessarily. Patience means to be patient with our own mind. Like our mind, we keeps telling, no, this is good, this is not good, I like this, I don't like this, I hate this person, I love this person. It is our mind that is telling us. So we must patiently, all kinds of thoughts and feelings that come, we have to be patient with our mind and let them go. Learn the practice of letting go, patiently enduring and letting go, not clinging to anything too much. When you cling, Sankitena Panchupadana Khandana. When you cling, you automatically give rise to suffering. Whether it is your thoughts and feelings or ideas, or somebody else's words, their thoughts and feelings or ideas, whatever it is, then automatically suffering will arise. Sometimes even, sometimes even not just necessarily bad, like not necessarily when people are doing bad things and you are hating them, not necessarily. Even you are trying to do something good, but other person is also trying something good, and then maybe your ideas do not match. It may happen. It's not that maybe both of them are trying to do something good only. It's not that they're doing something bad. But then need not be matching. The ideas need not be matching. In this some nanatta kaya, nanatta body is also different, mind also different, and understanding also different. So when it is different, we also have to understand, yes, this is good and this is also good, and then we can find a middle path somewhere and not to, we don't have to fight with each other. This all comes from patient endurance. But first of all, you create aversion. No, I don't want to be patient. I don't like it. Then automatically, nothing, no good thing can sustain. And even in spiritual practice, the practice of Dhamma, whether it is the dana, whether it is shila, whether it is meditation, you have to patiently. Well, for example, when you people offer something, people offer dana. To give dana, you have to give up some amount of your greed or attachment or craving, whatever you are sharing. If you have lot of attachment and craving, you will not share anything with anyone. Simple. Then you will say, "Oh, this is only for me and mine. I will not share with anybody." But when you are a little better than this and you say, okay, something I can share. So that is generosity. To that extent, you are generous. To that extent, you give up that much of greed and share something big or small with other people. To that extent, you are generous. And to be generous, and then you have to be generous again another time. It's not like One time you share something, and next time, okay, okay, one time enough in this life, and I will always be greedy for the rest of my life. It's not like this. So you have to patiently remove that tendency of greediness, of possessiveness, to be generous. To be kind, also, you have to patiently remove your unwholesome tendencies to be hateful, to be angry, to have the tendency to harm. You have to patiently remove. Similarly, all good things. So that's why Lord Buddha said, Khanti paramang tapotitika. Patient endurance is the highest austerity one can practice. Highest austerity. When we say austerity, we have all kinds of things: not eating, hanging from a tree, lying on the bed of nails. All kinds of things comes to our mind, some images. But then that's not the highest austerity. It's being patient with our mind, patiently letting go of unwholesome tendencies. This is the highest. Patiently developing good things again and again. This is the highest. So patient endurance. That's the third. Then fourth one, chaga. Chaga is generosity. That's also very important, because in the same sutta, in the Alavaka Sutta, Alavaka asked Lord Buddha how to obtain friends, how to have friends. He says, Lord Buddha says, if you give dana, you will have friends. If you share, you will have friends. Simple. If you are stingy or miserly or selfish, nobody wants to associate with you. To have friendship means to be able to share something with each other, being generous. So, generosity, because generosity is where it, people, when we say, for example, people come to the vihara and then they want to learn meditation. But meditation means you have to, as we said, you have to let go of unwholesome tendencies. You have to make your mind steady and focus, with breath or any other or meditative object, and you have to patiently be with that object for a longer period of time. It's a hard work. At least to start with, it's hard work. I mean, it's not like you just anybody can come and sit and immediately their mind will be peaceful and they will become expert in meditation. It's not like this. It takes time. For everybody, it takes time. It's not like it takes time only for you and it doesn't take for other people. It takes time for everybody. But the thing is, it is not easy. But then, before, that's why we say dana, sila, bhavana, generosity, morality, meditation. So, to have a mind of peacefulness which is suitable to practice meditation, you must also do the groundwork. And that groundwork is, first is dana, generosity. Generosity means you are able, as we were telling, able to share whatever, little bit big or small. You are able to share. You are able to share with other people. You are able to give without possessiveness, without clinging, without greed. This is where the dana starts. And then you should also have some amount of goodwill towards the people you're giving. For example, if you hate somebody, you will not give something anything to them. If you hate anyone, then you will not. But if you have a mind of metta, okay, okay, these people, I can share something with them, whatever it is. So that having a mind of metta, loving kindness, is also important to to do dana and to do dana again and again. So that's like some people do dana again and again. Some people do dana once or twice. Some people never do. All kinds of people are there. And it also depends on how much They want have the mind of generosity. They have a mind of goodwill towards others. They want to share with others. It all depends on that. Because greed, possessiveness is very low level of clinging to I-ness and minus. Very low, very substandard level of clinging to I-ness and minus. Only for me and for nothing else. Only I want to obtain, I want to gain, and I don't care about others. This is a very, very small, petty, low attitude of a person. And when this mind is like this, then how do you expect that my person, when he comes here and starts practicing meditation, his mind will just suddenly open up? Because it already has so much of clinging and selfishness and self view and all things. Then it doesn't open up, doesn't open to the deeper peacefulness, it doesn't open to wisdom. It cannot. It opens up gradually. No, first of all, the gross unwholesome qualities have to be removed. Then only the subtle wholesome qualities will appear slowly. It's all conditioned. Just like you have to do some very set, some kind of exotic fruits or vegetables. You should have a very good piece of land with proper fertilizer, and the soil should be fertile, and then manure and proper environment. For example, something very exotic fruit, it only grows in, say, very cold or uh, hilly weather or cold weather. Then you go to a very hot place with dry lands and start cultivating it there. Will it ever happen? Then never happen, because the right conditions are not present there simply. So dana is to start creating the right conditions, just like other previous three. So these four: Satchang, Dhamma, Diti, Chaga, truthfulness, honesty, restraint, and virtue, patient endurance, and generosity. These four things, people, Lord Buddha is saying after this, people were to practice them, people were to cultivate them, people are practicing them. Then they have no unhappiness here, they have no unhappiness when they pass away hereafter also. So if you want long lasting happiness, then you must cultivate these things: truthfulness, virtue, patient endurance, and generosity. So these four things are like the four conditions, four pillars, like house. You build a house, so you make a foundation. So on four sides there will be pillars and connected with the beams. So these are the four pillars, and your pillars are good, your house will be good, strong, stable. Your pillars are not good, then house has every chance of developing cracks or falling down or some danger, something. So all of us, anybody wishes to be happy here and hereafter, must remember and must cultivate these four things: truthfulness and virtue and patient endurance and generosity, because they are the things that opens up our heart, removes our unwholesome tendencies. They are the things that creates like the wisdom to blossom fully. They create the supporting conditions from all four sides. This much we offer today as our gift of Dhamma. May you be able to remember, and may you be able to practice and put these things into your life and benefit